Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Seth May.
I'm Mediate.
I'm John Traylor, and this is our project on the ABAC Future Fund Bog.
To start with, we're going to go over our project overview, and this is what set all the entire project in motion. Without all these four pieces, we couldn't have gotten where we are right now. We had to get in communication with our stakeholders, and those ended up being Mr. Hall and Dr. Rollins. They gave us a lot of insight of what they wanted to see in the project and where we need to go with our project. From there, we started outlining the project. This involved the paper that we all did at the beginning of the semester and sitting down and figuring out exactly what we wanted, how we wanted to structure our project and our poster, and getting to designating the tasks. As to outline our project, it's one thing to outline, but to actually execute the information, we had to put steps in place. We had to delegate tasks between John, Ben, and I to get these things done. And at the end of the semester, we got together, collaborated, and we feel like that we have a project that best represents what the stakeholders want and what we want as well.
As far as communicating with the stakeholders for this project, we had two stakeholders, Dr. Rollins and Mr. Hall. And for those of you that don't know, Dr. Rollins works in the Bugwood department down at UGA, and she has a very good history of the bog. When we tried to initially reach out to her, she was not in her office, so we did have a few hiccups. But we did eventually get in contact with her, and we're able to hold a 45-minute or so phone call. And she illustrated to us the natural history of the bog and the significance of its location. A little bit of information about its acquisition. One thing that's very neat about this bog in general that she mentioned is it's a good example of a microhabitat. And so you have a lot of neat ecological factors in such a very small area. And this was very good for if you're giving tours, because you can say you're bringing somebody down from Atlanta. They can stop in Ashburn, and then they can head out to the bog, and you don't have to walk very far. You can show a lot of stuff in a small area. And so she highlighted a lot of those different little neat factors about the bog and some of the history of the plants. And as far as Mr. Hall, he gave us some insight into the physical management that was taking place on the site. He's been over the prescribed burns, and he's done a lot of work out there himself. He gave us some ideas for what we could possibly present in our poster. Ben was tasked with interviewing him. He recorded it so we could all listen to it. But he had a few ideas for things that he wanted to add or possibly enhance the bog. One was a fire break, and he also mentioned a growing season burn because it is so significant to the bog. And these interviews were able to just give us some general information and help us guide us along our project. And the information is very invaluable to completing our project.
Now, outlining our project, kind of how we mentioned before, the big part was getting in contact with our stakeholders, but that enabled us to put out a physical project outline, which, as John said, Dr. Rollins helps give us a lot of natural history about the site and a lot of tidbits about the species, such as toothache grass and 3 or 4 other species of milkweed and some of the more unique species being on the site. And Mr. Hall gave us some of the management implications, past management of the bog, and compiling all this information together gave us a good bit of development for the project as a whole, and it filled a lot of holes that we needed in our poster. With this, we created a timeline that followed throughout the semester. Our timeline mostly stayed consistent with the due dates that were presented for the class during this semester.
Now, and everybody knows that this semester has been pretty crazy due to COVID, and we've really had to kind of think outside the box to make a program like this happen. We've had to FaceTime, phone calls, emails. I'm commuting back and forth from Florida. Seth over here has got a bum knee. He's in and out of physical therapy, and none of our schedules have lined up this year. So we've really had to work on delegating out projects to each other and then meeting those timelines and then sending this stuff back in. As John mentioned earlier, I was the one who interviewed Mr. Hall, but I recorded that conversation conversation so that I was able to send that via email to these guys over here, and they were able to interpret that data and go back and extrapolate different parts of that interview that they felt were important, which I thought was really useful as a whole, because some of the stuff that I managed to hear was not the same stuff that they were. So we were able to pull things together to figure out what the general consensus that Mr. Hall really was emphasizing. And then same thing, John over here, he made that phone call, and that conversation was kind of lengthy, but he was able to sit there and have her on speakerphone, and Seth over here was able to take the notes of what was going on during that time. So it's been a little bit difficult and a little bit odd, but it's actually worked in a way for us. So right now, I'm currently in the process of building the poster that we're going to be using for this project, and Seth and John are actually working on the trifold pamphlet that they're doing. I'm taking all the pictures for the project for both the pamphlet as well as the poster, and I'm going to show you a few of those photos and what makes this box so special. So this right here, for those of you who don't know, is the parrot pitch plant. I did not until this semester, so I was educated. This right here is endangered species. This is kind of what makes the pitch plant box so important. It is a very small plant. As you can see the grass around it. I kind of had to play a little bit of Where's Waldo to find this thing. Kind of lay it down, and ended up laying down in the mud trying to get this photo here. So, but that is a parrot pitch plant. This right here is the yellow pitch plant. You can see this thing all over the place in this area. For the longest time, whenever I did my soils class, I thought this was the only thing that was out there. But it is not. There's actually 3 different species. I really like this photo because it looks like it's almost like a bouquet. Like somebody arranged this on purpose. And it was just really pretty. It stood out to me, so I felt like I had to take a picture of it. And then finally, we have our hooded pitcher plant. As you can see, the grass is way above this guy. I kind of had to play Where's Waldo to find this guy too. Lay down the grass and lay down in the mud to be able to get this photo. But I mean, I understand that this is the coolest pitcher plant in the mall. I mean, it's the hooded pitcher plant because, well, it looks like it's got a hood over its head. It looks a little shy and timid, but yeah, that's the 3rd species of the pitcher plant that's out here.
I was just going to add too as well, for those of you that might not know, this adaptation in general is for nutrient deficiencies on the site, and that's just a little tidbit. A lot of people don't know why we have carnivorous plants, but I thought I would add that in as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, and then I had to take a picture like this, and this is just an overview of the site out here, but it's very important. This is a fire-adapted bog, and as much of an oxymoron as that seems, it is extremely important to the plant species and communities out here. It's what makes this ecosystem so special.
To conclude our project, we really wanted to take the ideas of both our stakeholders, as well as the 3 of us, and create something that was meaningful and could last and stand a long time with our names on it. And we couldn't reach all of the goals of our stakeholders, obviously, due to time constraints and issues. But we tried to basically take the ideas of Dr. Rollins and as well as some of Mr. Hall's ideas and kind of incorporate them into something that is educational, but to a specific group, it's a specific set of people. And I don't know if you guys had anything else to add as well.
Well, one thing that was kind of interesting is the goals that we as a group had ended up being slightly different than what Dr. Rollins had originally planned on. Dr. Rollins, she really wanted to target a group that was already somewhat knowledgeable about something like this, maybe not necessarily the ABAC pitcher plant box specifically, but botanist groups and people who are botanists themselves, may not associate with a specific organization, but botanists themselves, versus just being open to the general public, because people who already have an appreciation for a site like this are less likely to damage it and trash it and make it less than it is, versus if you have just average folks out there just having fun going through aspirin and having to run up on this site. And this site is, the location's important because it's not too far off I-75 and it's not too far from Ashburn. It's only about 15 minutes from Ashburn. So people coming from near and far can stop in and view the site. They can stop in Ashburn, go to the bathroom, go get something to eat and drink before they come here. And then the site itself is easily accessible. You can park right off the road. You get out of your truck or van or whatever, and you can just walk out into the bog. The bog is less than 9 acres, about 8.5 acres, and it enables you to actually host tours and actually cover the information that you to fully explain the site or the bog in a day. Not everywhere can do that. You can go places like, I don't know, Reed Bingham. If you really want to go study the nature out there, you might not do that all in a day. You might have to go back a few days. Here you can actually take a tour, you can go through the site, and you can go through the bog and learn all this stuff and learn information in a day. So along with that, it's easy to traverse. So people who are younger or older, it's not necessarily divided among age groups because people can walk out. It's not very far. It's a small area. And Dr. Rollins even pointed out she had someone out there in a wheelchair, and they still were able to enjoy the site. But that also comes back to the poster we're presenting with. It is a temporary poster. It will not permanently be out there, so it doesn't attract unwanted attention, but rather it will be used when there are events held at the ABAC Picture Plant Bog.
Absolutely. And something I want to add to that is, we kind of had an idea of what we wanted to do, and Dr. Rollins and Mr. Hall, they are incredible individuals and they have grand ideas. And unfortunately, we were only able to extrapolate a few of those things to make it work. One of the things that Mr. Hall seemed to harp on that mattered to him was the importance of fire. And I believe that this is a great opportunity to educate the public about prescribed burn and use the platform that was given, even if it's a small one like this, to educate the public about the importance of prescribed burning. The other thing that I really enjoy about this project that we're going to be able to do is the fact that we're making a trifolder pamphlet to hand out to individuals that are going out there to see the site. That's something that's going to be here long after we're gone. And so it's nice to see something where we're able to make a footprint, even if it is small and fairly insignificant, to the public eye and to educate and help maybe inform others that, hey, sites like this are important, they're sensitive, and they're fire adapted. So this concludes our presentation. Thank you for your time.